So the next trend that I see in the insurance industry is unequivocally, definitely. What's up, everybody? Bradley Flowers here with Portal Insurance and the Insurance Guys podcast with my 2023 InsurTech and insurance predictions. I'm gonna go really fast here, get you guys through this. I know you guys don't want to stare at my ugly mug for 8 minutes, so we're gonna get started. The very first prediction I have is I think this hard market that we're going into, that everybody knows we're going into, that we've been talking about since the end of 2020, is going to be so freaking hard that we're going to have to come up with another word. It's going to have to be harder market or very hard market. It's going to be super, super, super difficult. I think what we need to look at as agents in this market is it's at least opportunity, right? The C and the D players are going to be eliminated. The A players are going to do well, and the B players have an opportunity to step their game up and step their business up and go to the next level because all their competition is struggling and fussing about the hard market and that sort of thing. Prediction number 2 is the next trend in insurance agencies. We saw it a few years ago with chatbots. It was like nobody was using chatbots, and all of a sudden everybody was using chatbots, right? And then a few years ago, we saw it with virtual assistants. Nobody even knew what a virtual assistant was. Then all of a sudden, everybody started using virtual assistants in their insurance agencies. And now it seems like everybody's opening a virtual assistant company. That's a little joke at the end. But you see this, right? There's a book that I'm a huge fan of called Better and Faster. And it talks about spotting trends in certain industries. And one example it gives, and this makes so much sense, is if you're in the fashion industry in the United States, and you want to spot the next trend in fashion coming to the United States, you would go to Europe. Everything fashion-wise starts in Europe and then eventually makes its way over here. I feel the same way about the insurance industry. We are not on the bleeding edge of the trend sword. We're like down by the handle, right? And you can look at other industries and things that have happened and predict what's going to happen next in our industry. It's something I do a ton of. And a few years ago, a friend of mine called me and he was like, man, how come the insurance industry is just finding out about virtual assistants? We've been using them in my industry for 8 years. And I explained the whole better and faster thing. It's like things tend to come to the insurance industry last. And it's those early adopters when these trends come to the industry. Now, obviously, people harp on things unnecessarily and throw words out like data, 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 and that sort of thing. But it's the early adopters of these trends that are the people that see the biggest advantage and pick up the biggest market share by using the thing that's the trend, right? So the next trend that I see in the insurance industry is unequivocally, definitely robotic process automation, also known as RPA. Essentially, what RPA is you take a repetitive task in your insurance agency or in your business, and you train a robot to do that task. For example, it could be quoting. We're actually using robotic process automation. We're using a company called Blue Ocean Strategies. Brilliant people that run that company. And we're essentially training this bot to quote for us, right? Any kind of repetitive task that you do in your business or your insurance agency, you can train these bots to do over and over and over and over and over. So if you think about, let's say you have Sally who's processing the carrier download and it takes her an hour to process that carrier download, you can train a bot to do it and then reallocate not only Sally's time, but the money that you're paying her to her doing other tasks that are more profitable for your insurance agency. So RPA, robotic process automation, is going to be the next thing with insurance agencies. Keep your eye out for it. Lastly, I think we're going to continue to see more insurance agencies be acquired. And here's why. When 2020 happened, and I'm in acquisition mode. If you're out there and you're selling, come my way. In 2020, right, when COVID hit, I told my wife, I said, I need to be getting ready to acquire some insurance agencies because there's going to be people who've been in the business 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Things have been great. We're in this soft market, right, pre-COVID, and the crap hits the fan. Nobody can work in the office. Everybody's got to be home. We've got to wear masks. We've got to stay quarantined, all that kind of stuff, right? And they're going to say to heck with this and sell their agency. They're going to get out. They don't want to deal with all the changes that are coming because it's not just innovation with COVID. It was forced innovation, right? And that's the worst kind of innovation you can have. And that didn't happen. I was wrong. And the reason it didn't happen is because the housing market was good through COVID. And our industry, even if you're not necessarily in homeowners insurance, our industry follows the housing market, right? The housing market stayed strong through COVID. Therefore, And we were still kind of at the tail end of that soft market. Therefore, business was abundant, right? Now we're seeing the hard market hit. Now we're seeing some of the negative effects economy-wise and politically from COVID. You're gonna have more agencies say, you know what? I'm ready to check out. I'm ready to take my money and go to the beach. I'm ready to take my money and go to the mountains. I'm ready to take my money and go to Florida. And I don't want to deal with this anymore. So if you're acquiring, you need to be on the lookout. There's tons of agencies, and we're starting to see it some, who are getting ready to say, hey, look, I'm hanging up my gloves. I'm ready to go home. And I think it's going to create a situation where some of the private equity firms have the advantage because the multiples are down, the money's not as cheap, it's harder to get financing now. So some of the private equity firms are going to have the advantage. But I also predict with this that some of the multiples we're not going to be hearing are as high as they have been in the past. So those are my 3 or 4 predictions. I don't even remember how many I did for the 2023 insurance and insurtech marketplace. If you have any questions, let me know. Please like and subscribe. Thanks so much.